How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Talking Wolves, or welcome back to a brand new video today with a brand new signing imminent for Wolverhampton Wanderers. We're going to be talking a lot more today about Vitor Ferreira from Porto. As always, guys, let me know your thoughts on this potential and imminent signing in the comment section down below. I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the move, how it came about, and of course some more insight from our Portuguese friend Alex Goncalves. So, hope you guys are keeping well and keeping safe. It was sort of known publicly on Sunday that Wolves were looking to bring in another central midfielder. Plenty of names were bandied about. Would it be someone a bit more senior? A couple of Valencia players were mentioned, obviously with Valencia having a bit of a fire sale and being in and around Jorge Mendes. Would it be another Porto player, obviously with us being linked there? And no one really knew, even on Sunday. It was pretty common knowledge, as Tim Spears said, that Wolves were looking at another midfielder. Nobody knew who it was going to be, and then it was revealed yesterday by Tim Spears as well that it was going to be a younger midfielder, with Wolves hoping to loan out Bruno Jordão to Famalicão in Portugal. Well, I believe it was Jornal de Noticias from Portugal. Hopefully my pronunciation was okay. About 6 or 7 p.m. yesterday evening, which was the 7th of September, they were the first to post out that Wolves were set to sign Vitinha from Porto. Vitinha, also known as Vitor Ferreira. It was going to be a loan and an option to buy the 20-year-old for around 20 million euros. It was then confirmed by plenty of sources that this was the case. This was the man the Wolves were looking to bring in on loan. It was denied by nobody really. He's currently with the Portugal under-21s at the moment. I'm not too sure what's going on. There's a bit of a hoo-ha with their last match of the international break. But whenever that is done, he will be coming to Molineux. He will be coming to Wolverhampton, complete his medical, sign the paperwork, and it'll be a done deal. However, today, Arbola and Ojogo in Portugal, I believe, are saying that it may not be an option to buy and it may be an obligation to buy, which would mean rather than Wolves having the option to whether they want to buy him or not, it will be an obligation. So at the end of this season coming, the £20 million we will have to pay it, and he will become a Wolves player regardless. Teams tend to do this. We did it with Dendoncker, but teams tend to do this to help along with financial fair play and so on. Be good for Wolves, obviously, to delay our financial fair play, but it'll be good for Porto as well. Portuguese clubs, especially Porto at the moment, having a little bit of an issue with finances, and for them knowing they've already got 20 million coming in next season, obviously will help them with that. I'm not 100% sure at the moment whether it is going to be an option or an obligation, but we will find that out. So, a little bit more about the player. What do we know about Vitinha, also known as Vitor Ferreira? So he's only 20 years of age, so again a young midfielder, and again another one that is going to raise a few eyebrows. He's not really properly broken into the Porto senior. He's had a number of appearances, I think about 8 appearances in the league last season, but who again was a player that regularly played in the youth team, very similar to Fabio Silva really, who joined Wolves at the weekend. In terms of his best positions, central midfield and attacking midfield really has been where he has been playing recently. He also a left midfield that he can play there as well. And I think he's been known to play as a defensive midfielder as well. But this season predominantly, or season just gone I should say, he was playing predominantly as an attacking midfielder. He's had plenty of comparisons with players such as João Moutinho. Of course, Moutinho now, I believe he was 35, 36 today. Happy birthday to João, by the way. And Vitor Ferreira has had plenty of comparisons with him. Both 5'7", similar in height. But in terms of, this guy's calibre and how he plays, people are saying that he could be Moutinho's understudy. And obviously when Moutinho retires, whenever that may be, Vitor can make the step up to be a ready-made replacement, really, for João Moutinho. Of course, as always, like many players, you can catch the clips of him online. I've caught a couple. His passing seems really, really good. And just as a backup option, I think a player that's going to be hungry for success, hungry to come into this Wolves team and want to stake a claim to a place, I think that's needed. Of course, with the likes of Morgan Gibbs-White gone, Jordão quite surprised about going, but there's a rumour that could include an option to buy as well, so it's obviously Nuno isn't fully convinced with him as a player as well. There's a big chance for Vitor Ferreira to get some game time, and as well with Wolves being in the Carabao Cup very early on, there's going to be plenty of rounds of League Cup action in the opening parts of the season. Some of these fringe players that people may not think we'll see much of this season are going to get a lot of opportunities to impress, and I'm hoping they can do with Wolves Wolves already knowing they're going to play at least a championship, at the most, a championship team in their first 2 rounds of the Carabao Cup. So options like that for these young lads to get plenty of game time and plenty of football is going to be key. £20 million, of course, again, seems a little bit steep for someone that's not really stepped into senior football. However, a lot of Porto fans were disappointed with this move. It seemed like a player and it looked like a player that has plenty of potential and plenty of promise. And Porto's fans are pretty upset about this one. Whether that be because he's a very good player or whether that be because Wolves just seem to be pinching some of their top prospects, I don't know. At the moment, by the way, in regards to other players that Wolves have been linked with, Alex Telles and Thomas Esteves, there's nothing too concrete out there at the moment for me to do a video on. So when that opportunity comes, I will be sure to do that. But as I say, we've had some insight again from Alex. He gave me his voice clip for the Fabio Silva signing, so you were able to hear his voice. He sent me some dialect that, a write-up that I can explain and talk to you about how he is as a player, really. So Vitor Ferreira, he's the latest player to move through the doors at Wolverhampton Wanderers, and you have to say Wolves really know what they're doing when it comes to recruitment. Another one of Porto's players from that incredible generation of youngsters that lifted the UEFA Youth Trophy in 2019. He didn't play a massive role in that tournament, but he has come a long way and has come off a great season, as his record with the B team shows. He's an incredibly accomplished midfielder, a natural talent, able to play in that number 8 role in central midfield or can play in attacking midfield just behind the striker. His main trait is perhaps his passing. He's a very classy player on the ball, very composed and assured in possession, and his intelligent and good technical ability and awareness. And it all makes him a really creative footballer that's able to pick out his man over long and short distances. You can understand the disappointment of Porto fans. He was just starting to break through into the first team, and he was showing tremendous quality. And just like that, he was let go for what is a very reasonable fee when Wolves make the deal permanent. I also like his energy and work rate, both on and off the ball. He's a good carrier of the ball and will cover a lot of ground in and out of possession, and has a great awareness of the game. I've also heard that he's got a good mentality and attitude, which is such a desirable trait and one that really separates the top talents from the rest as they develop into their game. So I think he's got everything it takes to be a great success, even if this is something of a transition season for him, though I do expect him to get some game time off the bench and maybe even a few starts, particularly in the cup competitions. So even me, without knowing a huge amount about Vitor Ferreira, Alex has sort of echoed a little bit of what I said there. It's a good insight for us, but it sounds like he's a player that is willing, he's determined, and he wants to try and fight for minutes. And like I said with the cup competitions, that is what I'm expecting. If Fabio Silva doesn't walk straight into the team, I'm expecting him to start 100% those early cup competitions and cup games. And we're going to have a really, really strong second team. And I say second team, that's quite harsh on players, but it is. Our depth now, for this time last week, looked really bleak. It's all of a sudden strengthening. And I think with 2 or 3 more signings, Wolves could be a really, really good side again. And I was worried, with our current status and the state of our current squad. But now it looks like we've slowly but surely building a very, very decent side. So I'm looking forward to that one. Vitor Ferreira should be announced in the coming days before the end of the week. If there are any more crucial signings and big signings on their way, I'll be sure to report those, so keep your eyes out for those. There'll be a Talking Wolves podcast in the next couple of days or so keep your eye out for that one, and be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and remember, you cannot spell Wolverhampton without the word Porto.